It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and as usual, we have the ladies' Wikes in the building.
Good morning. Good morning. We're only 3 today. I'm sad.
Yeah.
I miss the yo.
Yo, I'm sad. I'm only seeing 3 ladies here. I mean, instead of 4.
It's not a full house.
Producers have a different plan.
Anyway, my banter today is going to be on the bandits, because it's not on the front page of the paper. So I wanted to take the bandits that freed the NYSC students after collecting 9 million naira ransom. Because when those NYSC students were killed on the road,
yes,
we were saying that because of the insecurity now, they should even stop this NYSC for now, or let people go to camps nearer. Now look at these students that have been kidnapped, and it has cost their families 9 million. 9 million that they can do something with to release them. Say NYSC camp should not be responsible for this. For me, that is why I just said, because it's not on the front pages of the newspaper, I will take it, I will mention it. I'm
just grateful to God that we didn't lose these ones, you know. At this time, I'm grateful we didn't lose these ones, and it's sad that they still have to pay ransom. But Nima, how you doing? Nima was looking very, very smart today. I'm like, what's going on?
Elijah.
I did not say, I said smart.
Excuse me, the trouser?
I was going to add to what YK said, that, you know, they should have the NYSC, they have a list of what they insure and pay compensation on.
And they should include kidnapping.
Yes, they should include kidnapping, because their DG had advised, call your family members, let them know where you're traveling, and pay ransom when you're kidnapped. I think that made the blogs at the time. And people started questioning if it was true. But now we've heard that the families had to pay. So this is now something that have to be serious about discussing.
No, but the NYSC doesn't take... It's when you come into camp that they take over.
Yes.
So it's before...
While you're traveling, since we are still deploying, posting people outside safe zones, we must provide for that. You know, with these discussions, we must have it, no matter how difficult.
It is very important that we have it, because, you see, I give birth to my child. I send my child... Once the child leaves my
university level,
own enclave, you that
requested the child goes somewhere,
you are responsible for that child. It's not me that's going to be
I think it is worth discussing. I think it is, because we have a relationship with the NYSC. We definitely can bring them to discuss who's responsible for the transit period, and who is responsible to ensure there's safety, because it goes beyond what he said when he was on the show last, which was that don't travel at night, protect yourself. These people probably traveled during the day and yet got kidnapped, you know. I was going to mention the importance of rest. Nima was feeling like she wanted to sleep, even though she's on the show. And yesterday, I'm in a very, very busy season, and yesterday I came back from my usual site inspection, and I switched off my phone and took a nap. Like I told my kids, guys, just give me 1 hour. Like, don't knock this door for the next 1 hour so I can sleep. I feel really refreshed this morning coming here. Like, I don't understand how you're feeling. I know I should be tired, but I'm very, like, you need to take that time to... I just have to shut down.
If I come home and say to my children, give me a minute, I will not sleep for that minute.
You need the sleep. We need to
so
rest.
We're wired differently. I sleep during the day more than I sleep at night. And now I'm working during the day more.
It's not affecting your schedule.
I don't sleep well
we need to find balance, because all these plans and goals and stuff, all this trouble, we need the body to be able to do the work, you know. So it's important. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll go through the front pages. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're starting front page review with the Punch. Major headline: PDP moves to save convention, pressures secondus over suits. We've not received no response to our suit, says Oyetibo. Ruling holds today. And you can't miss the picture story. What is very, very obvious is the protest over bad Lagos to Abeokuta road. Unfortunate, political, says Abiodun. The picture shows the NLC, people holding hands, people carrying placards, a truck bending over. Really deplorable. Afe Babalola hails ABUAD as Varsity performs first kidney transplant. Man, 38, charged with misconduct of sending seductive message to Ogun housewife. Again, abductors kidnap 8 residents preparing for burial, demand 50 million in Ekiti local government. Fire me away to Port Harcourt during Southwest Governor's visit to Tinubu. That's from Akeredolu. Air Force officials on BRT lane kill Lagos artist, offer family 200,000 naira. Hassan Odukale outgone Otedola, buys FBN single largest stake. Petrol subsidy may climb to 3 trillion naira in 1 year. That's from the NNPC. $418 million deduction suspended as federal government. States meet for FAC meeting today. NNPC will construct 21 federal roads with 621.2 billion in 3 years. That's from Fashola. And after 48 hours, eNaira app removed from Google Store amid criticism. So, what story are we starting with?
Let me start with the Ifeanyi Kalu that was knocked down by, allegedly by an Air Force vehicle who took the BRT lane. They took the BRT lane, and he was on the BRT, and they knocked him. When they knocked him down, their vehicle threw him to the main road where a downfall now crushed him finally. The Air Force, this is what Segun Adefila, who is also an artist, put on his Facebook page. They picked him, they took the body, they took him to the military hospital. I think he was almost dead or dead on arrival. Anyway, he died, and they put him in the Air Force mortuary. They offered the family 200,000. Now the Air Force are saying no, they didn't kill him, or they didn't knock him down. It was the downfall that knocked him down. They just helped. Ifeanyi's brother is saying they did offer them. The family didn't ask them for anything, because the Air Force are saying they actually asked, the family asked them for 500,000, and the brother is saying no, we didn't ask you for anything. You offered us money. Like, why would you offer? Why would you even pick up the body if you are not guilty? Why will you offer us money if you are not guilty?
This story has a lot of gray areas. It's going to be he said story, and we cannot prove it.
Said, look, there are companies there that have CCTV, so they should please release their CCTV footage. Let us even see what really happened. And the Lamata boss is saying, see, all these security vehicles, stop taking the BRT lane. Stop it. BRT lane is meant for BRT buses.
So I think Lamata should start by prosecuting this officer vehicle, because
he shouldn't have been on the BRT lane in the first place.
Shouldn't be on the BRT lane. So that they should start from there.
This is what annoys me. If you don't live by example, you say don't take one way, you will see police vehicle or Air Force vehicle taking one way.
Or they'll be blowing siren on hillocks, and there's no security detail attached. If you are not an ambulance, we're in traffic, you're asking me to shift.
Nima, you have a story?
Yes, I do. I have the 418 million deductions, the one we are tracing. Money we are following for the consultants.
It's currently suspended.
So, yes, they've suspended it according to the commissioners for Delta State and Ekiti State, their commissioners for finance. They're saying that payment is suspended pending FEC meeting, that they are looking at other ways to resolve this issue. You know, I took the story yesterday. The consultants had sued the federal government to court trying to get the money from source, and the federal government did an out-of-court settlement with them to pay this amount of money. They issued promissory notes, but the governors then went to court, and they lost their appeal against that arrangement. So now they are holding on status quo and looking for ways to pay the money. I just hope next time we're wiser.
Other story. Please take it.
Okay. So this happened. There's the Songwater Road is in an unfortunate state, and the NLC and residents within the area came out to protest the deplorable state of that road, calling on the governor. And I have passed through that road back to back. We have an estate there, and the NLC statement was that this road construction should have been done. The road was done to a point. The Ogo side of the road hasn't been done at all. It is not motorable at all, and it is affecting many people's businesses.
Dr. Abiodun has said that the road is too expensive for the states to do it. That it's going to cost them 75 billion, of which the state does not have that kind of money. So, and that this protest is political. He is claiming that the protest is political.
Why do they have to respond like this? What of the hardship that the road has been to people for years?
Because, you see, Nima saw me today. She says, oh, I came early today. I said, oh, you came? Yeah. But I left the house at 6:30. And I got to the office. My house is not more than 15 minutes. If I leave at 8, I should get here by 8:15. But I cannot because of the road. The road is bad. I remember was it last year that they came and they put some sand and everybody was hailing the governor. At that time, that money that they wasted
could have done a whole lot more.
They could have
just finished it.
We will not be facing this problem again. You know, so that they wasted money. I don't know how our government...
I feel very bad whenever governors say that it's political, because most of the time, when we attribute it to politics, we don't deal with the issue.
We don't deal with it.
And the issues are on ground.
Yes.
That road is terrible. I've gone through it. I cannot go through it. We move site inspections just because the roads are bad. And so to now color it a political protest is wrong when you see the hardship going on. I want to take the story of 8.
Sorry, he said something, though, that I agree with, that it didn't start 2 years ago when he took over. That road has been bad. It was bad during Amosu's
the idea of a new government is to change to solve the problems that they meet on ground.
It's a problem inheritance is going that
So please, if you know you cannot solve the problem, don't go there.
Exactly.
Sit in your house. Don't go for political office.
Don't come and be telling us the one that the
So, sad story of what happened in Ekiti. Ikole, Ekiti State. Ikole is the area, local government in Ekiti State, where a family was planning for burial of their mom, and this family, several people came into their house, shot into the air for about 40 minutes, and were able to kidnap 8 of the people that came for the burial. It obviously was targeted because they said the nearest police station to that, where the scene of the kidnap was about 40 minutes, and they got no response from the closest police station. The kidnappers have reached out to the family members saying they want a ransom of 50 million naira. This is not bandits. This is not headers. This is a case of people that know that there's a family doing an occasion and they are planning a burial and they came there. We, people of Nigeria, then a lot needs to be done to revamp our security system, and it's not in one area. This is now in Ekiti State. Moving on to another story, let's move on to The Nation. Major headline in The Nation: governors lobby senators, reps against direct primaries. We've gone far with Electoral Act amendment, says the Senate spokesman. In other news, AIDS funeral guest kidnapped in Ekiti State. We just took that story. Doctors kick against coup in Sudan. IPOP threats. Ohaneze calls for urgent political solution. Hours after launch, e-Naira app down on Google Play Store. Federal government targets 7,000 megawatts with TCN. Disco's upgrade. NNPC to fix Lagos Badagry, Ibadan, Ilorin, 19 other roads. Oil giants to use 612 billion tax liabilities to do this. First Bank Nigeria Holdings affirms Hassan Udukale as single largest shareholder. So, Nima, you have the major headline.
I do. So the governors have started lobbying against this well-applauded direct primaries amendment in the Electoral Act, saying that this is sort of targeted against them. They are looking at, lobbying all the reps and National Assembly members to, reverse to the indirect primary system that they think favors them. Basically, that's what the story is about. But I hope that we don't lose this step in the right decision that has been made.
All right. When we come back, we'll continue with the front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, YK, you were going to take the e-Naira story.
Yeah, it's just that the e-Naira app is not working. The Google app brought it down because it wasn't working. People were trying to. The feedback was that it wasn't working. People were trying to access it. CBN said no, they were trying to upgrade it, but Google app brought the
Google Play Store.
Google Play Store.
Google Play Store brought it down before they could upload it. And the Nation reporter who said they checked the app several times, even before before going to press, and it wasn't working.
So I think that Nigerians we tend to quickly, the reviews were terrible on the app. And usually the first stage of apps are usually a bit shaky because it's the first time they're testing it, and having millions of people tripping in, downloading and trying to log in their systems and logging at the same time. There should have been a first stage for testing it. People should just be patient. Listen, and they've apologized already that
apologize,
they are going to upgrade.
This is what, when you want to do something, do it properly. Don't say because I'm doing it for the first time. You will know that there are going to be problems. So, like you said, test it. Test it first. If it doesn't work, don't launch it.
Launch it yet.
It probably tested it.
When you launch it, look, people are going to flock to it. If people who believe in it are going to flock to it. So you should be ready for those problems.
That's all, Lou.
Well, moving on to Daily Sun, major headline. Federal government blows 1.35 trillion naira on fuel subsidy this year, and it is set to spend another 1.35 trillion naira before July 2022. In other news, Anambra, Ohaneze begs IPOB to suspend planned lockdown, demands emergency Igbo leaders meeting. e-Naira, we've taken the story. CBN apologizes for difficulty in app downloading. Gunmen kill vigilantes, 6 others burn houses in Kogi and Imo. Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, performs first kidney transplant. High Commissioner accuses the Economist of bias in reporting Nigeria. Thumbs up for Buhari on achievements. London court slams £100,000 damages on blogger over publications against Pastor Olukoya. Remember that story? Oba of Benin receives bronze stolen from palace in 1897 today. Drug addiction. NDLEA plans 6 rehab centers across Nigeria. FEC gives NNPC nod to fix 21 federal roads at 621 billion naira. Okays 4 billion for transmission line substantiation in Anambra, Enugu, and transformers in Akure, Benin substation. All right, so what story are we going with? You want to take your Benin story?
Before. So the statue is called the Okuko. It's a bronze statue of a cockerel, very beautiful, that was stolen by, 18th century by British colonial forces in the 18th century. In 1897, have been returned. It's going to be returned today. The Oba of Benin had already announced this prior to today that he will be receiving it, and it was received by a delegate of Nigerians, the Director General of National Commission for Museums and Monuments, Abatijani, who went to the country of past residents of the cockerel, but they will be bringing it and delivering to the Oba of Benin today. So congratulations. That we're restoring history gradually, and I hope that if we can catch up, we would meet up in the developments of other countries. If we were there in the 18th century, we could have surpassed other countries in their modern developments today.
Why can't we get to the IPOB story?
The Ohaneze Indigbo have called on the chairman of the Southeast Governors, that's Umahi, to convene an emergency meeting of the Igbo leaders for the purpose of addressing the legitimacy crisis in the zone as it relates to Anambra. And they have also asked the IPOB to reconsider the 7-day sit-at-home. In fact, they are not even just asking them, they are begging them to reconsider the 7-day sit-at-home. Like the Anambra State is the economic live wire of the Southeast, and they have the best network, rural network roads in the whole of the Southeast, if not the whole of Nigeria. So they're just appealing to IPOB to please reconsider the 7-day sit-at-home and allow the election
to take place.
Because this 7-day sit-at-home
would fall within when the election will take place. Like there's something. Yeah. Let's just continue to pray for peace. You know, I want to take the story of the London court. According to the Sun, slams £100,000 damages on this blogger. The blogger's name is Miss M. Badejo. She wrote a story I think about a year ago, and it's been the MFM pastor, General Overseer, had gone to court immediately to sue her that what you've done is malicious, is false, and it is, according to her, it is a campaign against her professional integrity and reputation. So the accusation was that the wife of the pastor was drawing a salary of £35,000 from MFM, which wasn't true. It was, according to the reports and according to the case, she's never collected salary from the court, from the church, which though she's entitled to. The blogger also mentioned how the pastor, that the General Overseer is aware that pastors within MFM in the UK are doing arranged marriages to get documentation, also wasn't proven. Another case was mentioned that the son of the General Overseer had 6 million naira in his heritage account, also not true. So this, for me, I don't know. I don't hate this woman. I believe every journalist should do their investigations thoroughly and get the facts right. But we also need to have strong cases before we publish things on blogs when we don't know it as a fact.
Verified stories.
Yes. Moving on to the next paper, Vanguard, major headline. On ending insecurity, gunmen kill 13 in Zamfara. Kogi, 8 abducted in Ekiti. In other stories, we have PDP upbeat as appeal court delivers ruling today. Why Hassan Odukale is majority shareholders by Federal First Bank of Nigeria Holding. 2023, Tinubu capable of leading Nigeria. Vanguard is saying that Anambra rethink 7-day sit-at-home on Owaneze begs IPOB. Afe Babalola says, I set up Afe Babalola University in Ado-Ekiti to teach people how to run a university. The CBN alerts public of fake e-Naira Twitter handle. You can't install CCTV at Abolongo prison. That's from Aregbe Shola tells Makinde. Bad roads. NLC residents block Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway again. Court freezes Benue government's firm's account over failure to repay loan. NNPC plans to spend 621 billion on 21 federal roads. So, what story are we going with?
Aregbe's media aide, it wasn't him speaking, was his media advisor, Shola Fasuri, who was replying to the governor's suggestion that he would, to respond to the prison break that happened in Ibadan, that he would install CCTV cameras, saying that this was not within his jurisdiction, that this is entirely within the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Interior and the NSCS, and that the state government does not have any holding of any of such centers, but that they are presently reconstructing or constructing additional 3,000 capacity facility along the 6 geopolitical zones that will now keep prisoners, and that because they have not gotten to the Abolongo's prison yet, does not mean that they will not get there for certain renovations and certain upgrade of the facility, and that they will get there later.
All right, so I want to quickly take the story before we run off of the good news that happened in Afe Babalola University at Ado-Ekiti. It's the first kidney transplant taking place in the entire region, and it was successful, carried out over. They say the man is a player in the entertainment industry. He's 46 years old. He's had kidney issues for years, as far back as 2017. He's been on dialysis back to back, and he just trusted the system in the Afe Babalola University, and he was able to conduct the surgery safely. It was a successful surgery. I think this is a good win for both the university and our educational. Our health sector generally, because of course kidney is one of the reasons that we do a lot of medical flights. So let's move on to the next paper.
Before we go, I wanted to just talk about the Twitter the Twitter handle on the Naira, the CBN has washed its hands off claims that it's disbursing 50 billion Naira to the public. It's associated itself with the Naira, and that please don't go there. It has nothing to do with CBN, and they are not giving out any money. So please. Beware.
And our final paper.
To beware is to be warned.
Yeah. Our last part for today, Nigerian Tribune, major headline, NNPC takes over 21 federal roads to spend 621 billion Naira. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, all these roads are covered. Nima has that story quickly.
Yeah, so according to the Minister for Works, after the FEC meeting yesterday, NNPC will take over, he said 9 of the selected roads. You have 9 selected roads within the North Central, 3 in the Northeast, and 2 in the South, 2 in the Northwest, 2 in the Southeast, 3 in the South-South, and 2 in the Southwest, making a total of 21 federal roads that the NNPC will be amending. This comes under their program, the Federal Government Road Infrastructure and Refreshment Tax Credit Scheme. This was what they used with the Dangote to do the Apapa-Oshodi Express road, as well as the other one in Kogi.
So all these roads, I read the roads, and I believe all the roads are essential to develop. Anyway, roads are essential to development. Once you do the road, the economy of every society opens up. You know, so it's important that we don't just hear these stories, because that's what usually happens, but we see a follow-through of the development as desired within that area. I'm sure the people of those states will be happy to see the roads being constructed. That's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll go into our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Popular Nollywood actress Mercy Johnson Okojie recently revealed that a teacher in her daughter's school, Purity, has been bullying her daughter because of her celebrity status. She revealed that for 2 whole weeks, her first daughter has been bullied by this teacher in the school, just out of hatred for the mother. She went further to allege that the teacher believes kids of celebrity parents are badly behaved and proud. And Mercy, however, had to try to get to the school to get to the root of the matter. She figured out the teacher, started apologizing after this happened. The question now arises that, is it right for a teacher to bully a child because the parent is a celebrity? What is the right process if a parent finds something wrong in the way the children, his or her child is being managed in the school? What should be the process of how they should deal with the situation? Because some people went for Mercy that, why did you have to bring it to social media? Others went with Mercy to say, we are going to deal with that teacher. Tell us the name of the teacher. We are going to go and deal with her. Like, the comments were all shades of good, bad, and horrible. So we'd like you to join the conversation. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Do you agree that children of celebrities can be rude and uncultured? Do you believe that that should be the right way to address such situation? What do you think the school should have done? Join the conversation by calling us on 081-270-53687, or you can call us on 091-390-76948. Of course, we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook, and we'll be ready to read your messages from those platforms as well.
Yes. So I saw this video trending, and initially I was slow to react. I just saw comments, blogs dropping news that, you know, she sent thugs to the school. She went with thugs to beat up a teacher in her daughter's school. It sounded too big.
Too much of a movie.
Too much. Like, I said maybe they're trying to promote one movie that is coming. Only for me to then see a rejoinder by one woman saying, I was misinformed. She apparently was the one, so I went for the entire story. So a woman had shared, went on live calling out Mercy Johnson, saying that she came to school, she brought thugs, and she posted. So the blogs that captioned everything she wrote, that is it okay because you're a celebrity to bring thugs to beat up a teacher in school? She made it so sensational. Everybody would just catch Mercy Johnson and her daughter and just cast them and, you know, beat them and all the way she wrote her story. And then Ms. Johnson had to go to the school, went on live, take the accounts of everybody that was present at the time she had gone to pick up her daughter. That was supposed to be the time when this incident the woman originally reported happened. And so the people who were out there were wondering which talk did she come with. Apparently, she drove to school after her daughter had reported bullying from a teacher. Went to investigate the situation, saw the headmistress. She couldn't even find the teacher. And she said she had met the teacher prior to that day. And the teacher had given her an attitude, you know, sort of like, you know, and she had said to her husband that this person is sort of cold or rude to me. And he said, no, everybody cannot like you, so deal with it. And she just thought it was okay. But what she could not stand was the line the woman crossed to her daughter. And the poor girl, young girl, I think 9, who had to be called out by her teacher. Of course, in every way, it's bullying. She even recounted the situation where the girl had issues with another student, and the teacher just sort of cast her aside that you, celebrities' children, you're pampered, you're spoiled. Wow. So that's a mindset problem. And I think the school, because she refused to put the name of the school, because people are also, I'm joining those people saying the school should take a strong action.
The school already released.
Very strong one. Call and sack that teacher. There's no helping her through. She has to go on her own, find herself, go on a mind retraining if she will do that work of teaching again. Because you can't be in care of children and have a favorite.
And be petty. Or
be petty. In any, you can't even have, you can't be, you know, some teachers do these things when we're in school those days. There's a special girl, a prima ballerina girl in the group of all the students who seem to have 2 heads, who could get away with anything. I remembered back then in school, and I laud my set for it all the time in command. We were able to insist that the law was carried out on a Caucasian girl when they asked all just 1 to 3 students to cut their hair. I was not even allowed to grow my hair. So in just 3, I was just beginning to grow it, that I would use it to flaunt in SS1. And then the law came, and we were made from just 1 to 3, even if you're 2 steps to SS1, to cut your hair. And then the Caucasian girl, I think she was of mixed breed, Russian and Nigerian. I hope she's not watching, because we're friends. And, you know, her hair was all the way to her waist. And they were saying, no, because she's not of African descent. Can't you see that the hair, it will be bad for it to be cut? Students called their parents. People who had officers' parents, they stood on it, and she came to school the week after with a low cut. The law is the same for everybody. You can't have a favorite. Some children, you would completely destroy their mentality, and they will have inferiority complex for life, thinking something is wrong with them because of their race, their gender, or their parentage, or you know their lineage. Because of that, it's a lot of burden to put on a small 9-year-old for that matter. I don't know. When you were really small, you didn't have that. Like your father was not.
I like this topic. My father was famous.
When you were really small.
When I was really small, my father was famous. My father became famous in...
You were already in secondary school?
When I was in primary school.
Can you imagine? How was that?
So, and that's why I want to take this story. Because I think teachers owe themselves and the children that they're training a responsibility of divorcing themselves from the parents. No matter who or what the mother or the father is or was, or however way you want to look at it, please, the child is the child. You are responsible for the child, and every child should be treated equally. There should be no favorites. There should be. Don't be said because the father is a celebrity or the mother is a celebrity, I'm going to favor the child. Or don't say because the mother is a celebrity or the father is a celebrity, I'm going to attack the child. A child is a child, whichever way you look at it. They will have their own failings as children, as human beings of their own, because they're human beings who are developing, and they're not developing because of who their parents are or who their parents want to be. They are developing, and it is your responsibility as a teacher to divorce yourself from the identity of that parent. I will go from personal experience. There was a lady when I was in secondary school. I used to wear sweaters. I loved to wear my sweater because it was always cold in the morning. So especially in the morning, I would come to school and she was, Johnson Okojie, take off that sweater. Why, if you wear sweater tomorrow? And I couldn't understand. So I used to gossip with my friends. I used to say, I think that fella has chased this woman before. Yeah. That's how I felt so victimized by the teacher. Because she was, every time she saw me in a sweater, she wasn't seeing me, and I was cold.
Wow.
She would not ask.
Why will you? The sweater,
and then why everybody knows your name? So they just call.
The sweater is part of the uniform. I was also wearing a different color. We had green sweater to match our uniform. And my sweater was always green. I always had my beret. I was always in fact, every time they stole my sweater or my beret, I would go and meet my mom. Hey, they've stolen it. They would buy me another one. So, why? So I always felt victimized by that teacher. I remember that when I saw her a few years ago.
Seriously?
Yeah. She said, that's why you turned out like this. That's how she sees it. How I see it.
It's different.
It's totally different. The same, now, my daughter was in secondary school. I removed my daughter from that secondary school in actual fact because of this matter. The teacher comes to the class and says, he knows that she's Fela's granddaughter. I really hate Fela Nicola Pokuti.
Oh my God, Wike, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll dig further into this story. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. So before we went on the break, YK dropped a bombshell. How a teacher in her daughter's school said she hated Fela, and the teacher knows that the grandchild of Fela was in the classroom. And then the teacher had the nerve to say, I just hate this person.
No, there is no way the teacher didn't know, because I took my daughter to school every day and picked her up from school. That was I didn't, unless I was on tour, then someone else would. But while I was in Nigeria, I did it all the time. Now, because there's some people saying some on YouTube that some of the children behave badly. I'm not saying that children cannot behave badly.
You can't generalize.
One, you can't generalize. Two, it is your responsibility as the teacher to correct the child. You are training the child. Now, if the child is misbehaving, then you have to tell the parent that I would have to take stricter punishment, stricter measures on your child, because he or she is doing this. That's your responsibility as a teacher. Now, my daughter was extremely quiet. Me too, I was extremely quiet. For 2 years running in my school, I got best behaved. I was a very, very, very quiet, unassuming child. Very, very shy. So there was no way I was badly behaved. And my father would never, even if you beat me, my father would not even come up, ask you any question. You beat me, I will collect that beating. So there was no need to victimize me. Now, my daughter, she said, I hate Fela Nicola Pokuti. And for please, what is the reason?
And even if you do.
And even if you do, is it inside the class?
So is that part of the curriculum?
Is that part of your lesson? It's not part of your lesson now.
I'm so happy we're discussing this. I don't like the fact that Mercy Johnson's daughter got bullied, and that's the reason we're discussing it. But we ought to discuss this kind of issues. The issues of you don't like a parent, and then you now use it to take it up on the child. YK, children will misbehave regardless of if they are born of a celebrity or they are born of a nobody. Children are meant to experiment, and they are children, they will be mischievous. Sometimes I look at my child, they will just go out. I'm like, why exactly did you go and touch that thing? It's just that trying out thing. And as a teacher, it is a core responsibility for you to treat every child equally. And I know that it is tough, even as parents, not to have a favorite in the class within your children, talk less of within the class. So the responsibility is higher on a teacher to be unbiased. You must be unbiased in how you raise those children. You must be unbiased in how you deal with the children. You must not be seen to have a favorite child amongst any of those children. Let's talk about the psychological effect on you as an adult now, okay? Because you went through it. You understood how coming from the burden, the responsibility, because anybody think it as a jolly thing, but it's a huge responsibility to come from a name that people can recognize. And that happens with Messi. It happens with every celebrity that their child comes with a name into the school. They'll know, are you the Okojie of this one? Ransom Kuti, are you the Ransom Kuti of Kiniko? How did you feel as a child going through that process, knowing that everything you did was going to reflect on your name?
Well, like I say, it was not easy. Because people like to say, you must have had a good life. It had its pros and cons. And let me remind people that it is today that people are looking up to Fela. No, Fela was this. In those days, Fela was not a Kenyan. Everybody, Fela is a Igbo smoker. Fela is this. So I was the child of who people looked down on. Was famous, but a lot of the elites, the people who are elites today and who are Kenyan, they didn't want to associate with Fela. It is today that they don't say, oh, yeah, Fela was my friend. It's a lie, they were not Fela's friend in those days. So, we grew up, I can never forget.
So the school ought to shield you. The school ought to be a place where you'll be protected.
I can never forget going to meet, my father was in jail. And then my cousin introduced me to this girl. And the girl said, don't introduce me to such people. We were young kids. Don't introduce me to such people. I don't like meeting such people.
Oh my
Hold
God.
her to our face. My sister and I were standing. We just, we slunk away. And, I'm 60 now. For me to still remember, I was less than 18.
Oh my
For me
God.
to still remember today, you must know it must have had a psychological effect on me at that time. So, and that's why I say, I don't know if Messi Johnson's daughter or son, I don't know the story. I just read it.
Is a daughter.
Is a naughty girl? I don't know. But
even if
it's the teacher's responsibility to train her, not because, and not to bully. You cannot bully a child.
Not victimize, not attack.
If you cannot divorce yourself from your hatred of the mother,
recuse yourself from that job.
Just move.
People should be.
Let's take this phone call. Okay. I'll come to you, Nima. Let's take Bumi from Magodom. Bumi, welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello, Bumi. Are you with us?
Hello. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Bumi. Welcome to the show. You're live, Bumi. We can hear you. If you can hear me, just go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller on the show.
Welcome to the show.
All right. So I'd like to just have my quota to the contribution. Hello?
Yes,
we can hear you very well.
Okay. I'd like to have my quota to what the topic we're deliberating on.
Fire on.
Okay. So I beg to differ that children of celebrities are badly behaved. I feel it comes from the angle of teachers not having self-esteem, and they lack confidence when they see children of celebrities.
Oh my goodness! We love that called self-esteem from the center.
You touched something very important now. So sometimes you discover yourself. You see that you have certain behaviors that or you have certain worldview that is not balanced. And in the profession that you practice, it could be detrimental to you or the person you're serving. You can always step out, and you don't have to teach. Path. You can always find a one-on-one with people of your kind. You can do homeschooling for children of your kind, people that you think are best behaved, but don't stay in a school where you're well paid and you're put in the care of children, and you generalize and start to victimize some children. Once I went to school, to my daughter's school for open day, and as I was about going through her books, a young girl just came from her class and said, that she was badly behaved, that she bullied a younger student from another class. I took it up immediately from her old school. I was really bothered. So I called out my daughter before the teacher would even do anything in the whole class. Made her stand, because Gufran can be, a madam. She's a madam. She was born a madam. And I said, you bullied somebody? I want that girl. So this child was insisting she did not. I've been teaching this girl. She's well behaved in school. And I was looking at her that you're patronizing me as a parent. That's not possible because I know her. And then she said, okay, go and call the girl that was bullied. She said to the girl that reported to me, call the girl that was bullied. Let me know exactly what happened. And my daughter just kept, she was in shock. She was just looking at me like this. When the young girl now came and I said, sorry, when did she slap you? She said she didn't slap me. I tapped her and she tapped me back. And
that was the end of the story.
And that was the end of the story. And I looked at the girl that reported it to me. Did she cry to you when... Yeah, I just saw that she tapped her and I thought I should report it to her teacher. I said, why did you even wait for me to come? Why didn't you? Why is your teacher... I just found out that another student just bullied my child. I was only just grateful to God that the mistake was mine. Imagine that it was the teacher who acted in the way I acted and judged my daughter without listening.
Very true.
How bad... Till we got home, I was begging my daughter.
It is a huge responsibility for teachers to be unbiased. It is a huge responsibility for teachers not to judge. And we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with this discussion. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've been discussing what happened with Mercy Johnson Okojie and her daughter about the bullying because she's a celebrity. And generally, we're discussing how teachers are meant to be unbiased. But this story broke because someone felt she was a reporter. She saw something, recorded it, gave it a wrong coloration, and caused yam scatter scatter. Is it yam pepper scatter scatter now happened? But the truth is, we were in this age where everybody has a phone. And because everybody has a phone, they feel entitled to record, which can be good and bad. But we've seen where these recordings now have audio commentators who will be saying, oh, he's just climbing the roof. Ah, he just broke down. Hey, those are thugs. And Mercy didn't take thugs to the school. But what went viral online by this non-journalist young lady who just took her phone and decided to become a journalist, spewed a story that created a narrative that was false. And many of us find ourselves sharing and resharing all those things. You take a video on the road, that was an accident. They just bashed somebody. They just scattered, and there's no truth to that story. You did not hear anything. You just gave it a coloration. Nima, I want us to discuss this because in the papers today, we took the story of someone whose libel suit got £100,000 judgment against a blogger who took a story that wasn't true. How do we deal with this need for us to always want to record something and make it trend?
So even bloggers know now to hide their identity forever. They hide behind an unknown face and do their stories because they know ethically that it is wrong to start a story without basis. And most of them do this. This woman, for instance, was in school. The easiest thing to do would be to ask the teacher, ask Mercy, ask the principal of the school, and wait until you can lock the story to a very concrete basis.
Is it even your business?
No, it can be your business if you want to start blogging. But find all sides and find a balanced story. You know why I say this? I have a younger sister who is in the news business. She's been news editor for a lot of blogs for a long time since she started her own. And I see the way she's taking her time. I thought I would be the one to be advising her. I always said to her, why is the story not good? She said, no, I have to get more sides to the story. There was a time she wanted to do a story on YK. She was asking for YK's number. I was saying, you just need to hear from me. She said, no, I can't write a story hearing from you. That's somebody who has the training. She did mass comm. So I know people should have that basis. The woman in question ran
with a story she did not investigate.
And the danger is that not only do you defame a person, it can be more far-reaching damages mentally for her and whoever the story touches, which is what happens here. So until she tasted her own poison, she did not know how it felt. Until she posted her disclaimer and trying to redo the damage she had done. People went for her and she was now asking for people to protect her mental health. When these people write stories, they don't think of the mental health of those that they write about. And it's damaging. I personally, when I see stories start, I don't care what the story is, I will not read it. It takes me maybe, if he's not dying in 4 days.
Before you now follow up with the story. Nobody thought about how Mr. Johnson would have felt when somebody wrote that story. YK, you were going to say something?
Well,
Oh, we have a call. Ife just called from K2. Ife, are you there? Welcome to the show. Good morning. Come back to you, YK. Ife, please listen to us. You are live.
Oh, she's listening to the TV.
Ife, you are listening to the TV and we can hear. Sorry, YK.
If more people like me, social media will not say. Because this Mr. Johnson story, for instance, I never knew about it till I read it as how I didn't know. Because in fact, I don't look for what is not my business. If you're going to write about anybody and it's not my business, I don't know the person. Even if I know the person, if I'm going to read the stories to tell the person that, oh, look, they wrote this about you, but I go and correct it, it's not true. I don't mind other people's business. So if more people were like me, social media will not sell. Now, I just wanted to go back to Mercy Johnson and the child. Children of celebrities, not only are they facing the victimization from teachers, they're also facing victimization from their friends, from their peers. Because you are the child of the celebrity, your friends are going to be saying, Keneko, is it because you are Fela's daughter? Or is it because you are Keneko? Or is it because you are Femi's son? They will do that. The teachers should also take that into cognizance when they are dealing with these children, because already they are living in a goldfish bowl already because of who they are or whose children they are. So there needs to be this understanding. Take your phone call.
Muhammad has called in from Yobe. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hello, Muhammad. You're live. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mohammed from Yobe, first-time caller.
Welcome to the show. Oh my God, it just got announced. You know,
Mohammed from Yobe. I'm so sorry, I would have loved to hear from you.
You know, YK, I remember this. I followed the story of Will Smith and how they raised their children, homeschooling their children. And many celebrities in the US choose to homeschool their kids because of these things, because they feel like you can't remove who they are from the child's upbringing, and so they rather just shield their children from all of this positive or negative, usually negative attention. Some even take their kids into school in disguise, like they cover up themselves, change the children's name, so that at no point would you truly know who these children are. So I think that one of the lessons we should get from this story is many people should be aware that when you look at that person in the glass house, the fact that you're seeing them puts them at a very, at the eyeballs of everybody. And it's a dangerous place to be in. So your responsibility is to protect them, not to victimize them, not to use the opportunity you have to now say, I don't even like that your mother. I don't even like the way she acts. That last movie she did, hello. Even me that I'm on TV, people meet me and want to discuss your view. I'm tired. Sometimes I'm not discussing it with my child. Imagine meeting and say, oh, your children, let's focus on protecting our sanity at every point in time. We'll be going on a quick break now. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've been discussing the case of Mr. Johnson, and before we move on to another topic, I just wanted us to conclude, give our final words concerning how, what will be your final lessons from this? YK, I'll let you have the floor first.
No, what I would just say is, celebrity or no celebrity, give the child a break. Let the child, if the child misbehaves, the parent is always there to report to. And then if the parent doesn't take action, the school authorities. I mean, there is a system, and you can expel the child if the child is misbehaving. You don't have to victimize or bully the child. A child is always a child. And you know what they say? If you correct the child with his hands, you pull him or her with the other hand. So
this is beyond teaching. Well, just as YK said, you know, your job as a teacher is that of grooming and mentoring. So you can't have your mindset fixed on anybody based on their family, lineage, class, or whatever. You have to have an open mind as a teacher. And if you see that you're not fit to do that, please just resign and find a better place to practice where you don't have to be faced with such incidents, because you eventually find out you damage yourself. I think this teacher now and the person who helped her propose, they are all dealing with the consequence of their actions as well. It's also very important that you as a parent, you do what you have to do
to protect
your child. So Mercy, well done.
And please, when you want to post, go and find out the true story first before posting.
Yeah, that's
because
very
before
important.
because now you feel you are the victim. You are not the victim. You are actually the attacker, and have turned to victim. And that's what God has.
Attach a libel and slander suit.
So that's it. So you've all spoken well, and I think that it's important that we all take that lesson. I like the last point Nima made. It is the responsibility of a parent to protect their child, and Mercy did well by sitting on this situation to say that my first assignment is not as an actor, but as a wife and a mother. And we also want to urge everybody that finds themselves in the environment of a socialized child to understand that your job is to protect the child. Every child is a full living spirit, and they have emotions that should be protected and not damaged. God will help us all. Let's move on to another topic that has been trending, something really interesting. So this story went viral. Danny Young is a fairly popular A-list artist, and Nima would establish the story because she's very, very... Okay, so let me establish the story. Nima is reserving herself to comment. So this, somebody sent a message to Danny Young asking for financial help, claiming that they were schoolmates from secondary school. Apparently, Danny Young doesn't have the number or know the person. So Danny Young asked for a picture of this said friend, and the man returned the post with returned the question with curses, saying, so because you are a celebrity, you don't know me anymore, because you are big, you are not even at these people's level, and you're behaving like this. And so Danny Young now replied and asked for his account detail, like he wants to send money. Apparently, I think he was trying to get the full names of the man. And in getting the full name, Danny Young sent him 30 naira and posted his full name online. The response has been on both sides of, oh, what sense of entitlement, which is what we're discussing. Why would somebody feel entitled to your money because I know you from primary school or I know you from secondary school? You don't know what you're going through personally. And YK is in that spot, so I'm going to let her be the one to lead the conversation. I also read the one, we also saw the one about Alibaba.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to Alibaba on his new television station, excusez-moi. And a lot of people have been congratulating him. I said amongst all the messages of congratulations, he found one that was saying, I asked you for help a few months back. You could not help me, and yet you had enough funds to build a TV station. Is it my small money for children's school fees that you could not afford, but you could afford to build a TV station? Bringing us back to the topic at hand, which is this entitlement mentality people have on your funds. YK, over to you.
Over to me. I would have loved to read the message the guy sent to... Am I allowed to read the message?
Yes, please.
Yes. Please, let me read it, because he said, it's me, Isijola. We both went to Ijakpo Primary School and Secondary. Please, my wife is in the hospital and I need help, pregnancy, He didn't answer. So he says, you want to be like Whiskey, Davido, Olamide, etc. You forget those days when you come the show something hotel. Now thunder go fire you. Imagine that on somebody else's money. I called you that I need your help. You are telling me to send my picture through WhatsApp with small phone I'm using. Brother, it be like say, brother, life no be so. As from today, you shall never be well. It shall never be well with you again. You will never go far in music industry. You will remain stagnant forever. Thunder fire your father, your brothers, and your generation. Then he now replies, make I look God, oh no, I not go look your behavior. Shall send your account, make I find you something. Then he says, GTB, no verse for me. It's out of frustration. You don't rise. You go rise.
You never fall again.
You never fall again.
Huge, heavy words.
Words, you know, and I think that people do not understand that life of celebrity, everybody has his own case that he's facing. Everybody has his own problem. Nobody is without problem. No matter how rich you think a person is, no matter how affluent, no matter how important, everybody has his own problem. I will give you a very short one that happened to me recently. Mine is just recent to celebration. I complained to you here that I'm in debt.
You are still paying.
I'm still paying bills. Celebration is a very expensive venture. I have decided to put my head inside, no problem. It's my case, it's my cross, I will bear it. But I know that during celebration, a lot of people make money from it. You see those people that sell on the streets of Shrine?
Yes, sir.
Everybody there makes money. And you see, it is money that they are not putting, it's just
not
their
putting
profits.
anything, yes, it's just profit.
I don't make money. The gate fee for 7 days, 6 days is free. You pay for only 1 day. On that 1 day, we give out free T-shirts. So we're not making a profit. It's not celebration was not meant to be a profit-making venture. It was a give-back situation. It's to keep Fela in the minds of people. I don't mind. But now I'm driving, I'm thinking of, hey, how am I going to pay? Then this old man, as among the people on the street, said, and I was in a bad mood. And I turned to him. You know, normally I would not answer. I wound down. I said, Baba, you know, and he said, 10 naira lo le fún mi. Oni mo le ṣàánú mi pé mi ní problem tèmi. You know, the way I answered him, he just walked away. Because at that point I was frustrated. I was thinking of how to pay. The sponsors' money had not come in. And you are coming to ask me, even if it's not I can't give you 10 naira. But at that point, don't ask me for 10 naira.
Yes.
Because I'm frustrated. Me too, I'm a human being.
So that's the part people don't understand. That's the part people don't understand. The fact that you have no idea. When you send that WhatsApp message, when you send that email, when you send that text message, you have no idea the state of mind of the person you're sending that message to and what that person is going through. And yet, most of the time, the question is, so because you're a celebrity now, you cannot answer us again. Like the case of what the Alibaba person said, he said, you don't even respond. I come here and say you don't build TV station. And to support we had you. How much be TV station? How much be school fees we had you? Now what for life? Oh, I don't blame you. I just make I talk as it in my mind. God no go forget us. Nima.
I beg, before you answer that, Nima, I just want to say something. As he's asking for his own school fees, there are 20 other people asking for school fees.
Yes, legitimately safe.
20 other people asking you. If you're asking me for 10 naira, be rest assured that 20, 30 other people are asking me for that same amount or even more. How many will I give? How much is inside my account? Continue.
So, yeah, I think the Alibaba's person even had a bit of sense. Because going all out to cost because you were not given. I see them, I see those kind of messages. There's a this of the Prophet that I apply, I don't respond. It says, if you have nothing good to say, be quiet. So I just keep quiet. I either ignore messages directly to me, WhatsApp or my pages. And recently, I had to call out an old friend. Because she puts this act as if, you know, we are being from since I will call you, you will pick, you will not return. As if I don't have a life. Auntie, I leave home every day. My children have not even woken up. I keep sleeping children bye-bye every morning. If they wake up, I'm in trouble. One is cuddling, the other one is asking for something. I drive myself without a driver. When do I have the time to check my messages? If it is not an email, it is not important yet. If you send me a message that is important, you will call me, check your message, and I will check it. I have 3 jobs I have to do. And then I get home. I am the mother of my home. I always say my first job is the mother of my children.
Assignment at home.
That's the most important job. Every other job is a side gig. And then I get home, and I want to put myself into my children's schoolwork and everything. And you're asking, Dele, and I say yes. And you're saying, and your talk is forever talk. And even if I do listen, and it's not within my power to help, and I'm saying it's not, I don't know how to do this, that no, I should not be crucified for it, because sincerely, if it was within my power, I would have done something about it. But the way we are wired, some of us are wired, is to put that burden and say, you have to. And so she would put this attitude as if, and I'm talking to you, and you're just, I've watched it happen like a pattern. And I've always put the quiet face. I just said, no, I can't do this again. Because gradually, little by little, I just suddenly started hating this person. I'm not one to hate. And when I shut the door for you, I swear I've shut it. So I had to call other family friends that we've always been friends. I said, please, I don't know how I'll be polite to address this matter, but please help me address it. And I've seen changes. So sometimes you have to take that difficult stand, and that conversation has to happen.
You have to have those conversations to fuel the sense of entitlement. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So this particular story really, it hurts. While I was on my trip, I visited many people, you know, and I discussed with people that want to have investments in Nigeria, and I could see some of them trying to balance their accounts, and they had huge financial responsibilities they had to carry, the financial burden they had to carry at home that they did not have a choice over. It was like, you don't have a choice. Said, I have to send money for this one is not feeling fine, this one wants to rent shop, and I'm looking at this person. I know how hard. These are not people that are doing regular 9-to-5 jobs. They are doing work, the kind of jobs they are doing, they are 10 hours on their feet. Working in frozen places, and they want to have assets at home, but they have so many people that are looking up to them to help her financially. But while America now, while America would help her, that kind of thing, like you are in a better place than we are. And the sense of, if you don't do it, it means you are a wicked person. If you don't do it, it means you're not a kind person. We need to, and we're having this conversation because some people have brought it as celebrities into the limelight. We've shared some of our stories, and we'd love to hear from you. So feel free to call us. The numbers will be on your screen right now for you to let us know what has your experience been. How do you handle friends and families with sense of entitlement? If you are in Nigeria or you are in the diaspora, what is your reaction, and how do you deal with it? And you have a platform to start appealing to them to reduce their level, their conversations to you. Nima, I know that you face those that meet you on the road. I know that because of the transit, your axis when you're driving, you meet people on the roads at regular intervals that are expecting at regular intervals you should be kind. God should use you to bless them. How do you deal with it? Are you one of those that you break change in your car? Some have 100 naira change so that they can settle.
YK. I've seen YK. I've seen sometimes I walk YK in public just so that the people waiting will not be able to approach her. So I've seen it. I won't start it. They do stop me. So me too, I greet. If you greet me, I greet you. We are greeting. I don't have. And if you insist, one was give me something. Even the people in security uniform will stop you. Ask for your car papers only to say, give me lunch. I say, if you stop me for my car papers, see it. But the day that I have and I feel that I want to appreciate your job, that's a different matter. But starting the trend of asking, no, I don't fall in that circle.
Let's quickly take this call from Paul, all the way from Bariga. Paul, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Paul. What has your experience been?
Yeah, I just have to do with the Message Johnson stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
Most of the actors or actresses that are on...
What's going on? What's wrong with our phone lines today? So sorry. Please try and call back. He was going back to Mr. Johnson, but you
I've found the solution to my own. I'm going to be pasting my salary on my windscreen every month.
Okay, that's not going to work.
This is what I earned last month. So when you're asking me, just know it's inside this.
No, but I think that I can even... Let's even talk a bit about YK, because YK works. Like, it's not... She's in her 60s and she's still working. It's not a sign of... Some people with YK status can decide that their career is to be asking from left, right, center. I know enough people that I can never go broke. Some people, that's their mindset. I know enough people, I can never go broke. You cannot be... And it is not... It's not to cast aspersion on people that are going through challenges. I can tell you for a fact that I had my twins in the general hospital, and when we were having those children, the only money in our account was just enough to cover our hospital bill, which we had kept there because we knew what it was going to cost, and it was a general hospital, so it was less than 30,000 naira. But I see many people that they will say, "Oh, my wife is in the hospital about to give birth. We want to pay for the hospital bill to release the wife, and it is based on family members gathering money, or they want to do naming ceremony, and it is all family members. My wife has given birth. What will you send? What will you send?" Someone that I trained free on makeup years back sent me a message. "I'm getting married. And stuff. I really appreciate your financial help." I say, "Hello, I trained you free on makeup. You have a skill. Get into the market space. Sell something. Do something. And you cannot be planning with my financial support for your wedding." I don't understand, and we need to get into that space where, yes, people have financial help that they cannot, they have no other way to go about it. Let begging be your last resort, and let begging be a resort that you will never consider, because you will trust God to open doors for you.
The Prophet Islam says that the giver is always on top, and the beggar is always, his hands is always like, because you're receiving like this. So if you have that mentality, something that I reject for myself and my generations yet unborn, to ever be in that order. So I think people should raise their children. There was a woman I assisted during lockdown. She made it a duty every week for a new stock from my kitchen. Every week, new stock of food, and money for drugs, and money for this, and money for that. And my husband kept saying, "Stop this," because she's now sending her children to the house. You have to put a plug to this. And then my father passed, and I wasn't always around. And then she came to the house and saw my daughter. She sat with my mom is not around. I said, "But that's her car." Unfortunately, they are constructing in Yanoba Road. I cannot drive through that traffic. So I went home on foot. And she kept saying, "But that's her car. I will not live here, And then my daughter said, "But it's only my dad that is at home." My husband was listening to the conversation inside. And I said, "Then go and tell your father that I'm here. Somebody has to give me something." And that was what broke the camel's back. Some people don't know how to... I was grieving, and she had come before then. I said, "My father just passed. I'm not in a good place right now. And I won't be around as often because, the waiting period is 4 months. I'll be with my mom sometime." I'd had this conversation with her, and she wanted to transfer it.
That's the sense of attachment we're dealing with.
Some is just too much.
Let me take Hassan's call. I'll come to you, YK. Hassan, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Tokwe.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nima.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning.
Good morning.
A blessing to your view, YK.
Good morning. Thank you.
Please, let us distinguish between the two. There are natural beggars. And that act of natural begging is an act of indignity. And there are people that need help. Sincerely. Everybody needs help. And some people help you in the process of your life. You owe them the responsibility to reciprocate. There are some people that did not even help you, that needs help. And if you have the means, you should help them out.
Yes.
Because Almighty God helps us all. My point of disagreement here is this. For somebody to take it as a right, to take it as a hobby, I disagree with that. Good morning.
Thank you, Hassan.
Because I was just going to say, I really don't mind giving. If I have, and you ask me, I will give you.
Yes.
That is me. I will. Even if you don't ask me and I see you need help, I can come and give you. I give people. I don't mind. It is when it is that sense of entitlement. If you don't give me, like this message to Danny G, or what was his name?
Danny Young.
That is, you don't have the right to abuse him because he doesn't give you. You don't.
But why can't there are people that beg? You know, he said it's the people that beg, that their resort when they have financial. I've had times, while on this show, even this last term, that we break school fees. I have 3 children going to school. It's not cheap school fees. We break the school fees, we go to the school, the bossa know me. We pay,
go and negotiate.
We negotiate. We are paying it in installments. My thought is not to go and ask and beg anybody for money because I have school fees to pay. You see, that's the real issue for me, is that when you face challenges, your resort is not to beg. Your resort is to think of, how do I make this money? What do I need to do? So when we have a budget, we want to pay house rent. Our house rent is coming. So we don't want to pay house rent. Our target is, how many this thing do we need to sell? My husband, how many clinical? What have we saved? What are we doing? What do we need to add to it? It's not that you have house rent to pay. The first thing you think is, we have Uncle Lagbaja, let me go and call Uncle Lagbaja. I will call Uncle Shere, let me call Auntie Kiniko. And what your thoughts process when you have a need is who to beg. That, for me, is the problem. Because at this point in Nigeria, every human being, even the rich, is crying under the burden of bills that they are paying. So we almost become more resourceful and more creative.
Radio Nigeria has an advert. They said at the end of the advert, times are hard. A whole Radio Nigeria acknowledging that.
Why was saying something?
Sorry, why came up?
I was just going to say, I don't mind. I think when the government is taxing us, they need to take the begging into consideration.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how much do you give out in a year? Because that is part of our tax. When you are giving this one money for school fees, this one money for this one money, that's your tax. Government should realize that. Before they come and say,
they call it black tax anyway. They actually call it black tax anyway. Let me take caller from Magodo.
I don't know which one is black tax, but
caller from Magodo,
that, please, consider us when you are taxing us, the money that we give out.
As well. Caller, welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Are you there? Oh, do we have caller there? Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Oh, we can hear you, Tola. Please go ahead. Tola, we can hear you.
First of all, I want to quickly speak about the whole... Okay, I want to speak about the whole first celebrity owned first. I happen to be someone who, first of all, happened to go to a school that was like the IMIT for secondary school. And then I will blame some teachers sometimes because some of those kids happen to have the nastiest of attitude ever. And there are sometimes I also blame the teachers because they tend to pamper some of these kids, especially when you have that big name. And I had a first-hand experience, but I won't bore you with that. So for the other one, this entitlement thing, of recent, I met a friend who we went to the same primary school because my primary school was just a primary school in my area before my parents just got into more money and then I had to go to nice school. I met the friend of recent and then she was like, oh, you're working in a good place, you have this and all of that. And I was like, oh, that I even needed to get a new phone for some work. I haven't said that. The next day, she texted me, I'm married, you know, my son, my this, my that. And I was like, okay, how much do you need? And she was like, I need a certain amount. And I was like, oh, I can't give you that amount, but I'll give you an amount that I know that even if you don't give me back, I won't have a problem. And then she started telling me, and you know that time when we were in primary school, when people were begging for Gary, you were doing this, and I was like, do you need this money or not? Because Kakamam is telling me because my parent once asked your parent for Gary, so I have to give you the full amount you are asking for. It's not possible. And then, you know, this girl went to meet my parents, started saying that I'm stingy and all of that. But in any way, I feel like some of them, they feel so entitled because they've helped you one way or the other in life, and then they feel like you're supposed to give back to them because you are something now. Have a good morning, everyone.
Thank you.
So just like Hassan said before she called, some people have done you favors that have been your something that helped you into whatever, out of a hard situation. And so you owe them, not that they blackmail you with it. So we've heard you in the past. It is not in your place to say that. It is in the place of the person looking at you and thinking, as difficult as it is for me, I can't forget the good that your parents were able to do for me. But when you remind me, even me, you have taken your grace, you have taken your rewards with that. Let me take this person who disagrees with all of us. Tunde Chris Bakari says, I think if we think deep, this is like a petty somehow. Why bring this online? Fine, he went overboard and more. But your old friend has stated, plus his wife is in the hospital. Bro, what have you achieved now? Destroy his image and protect yours? More like using his failure ladder to rise up to your forgotten heights. This matter could have been settled without social media, bro. It's unfair to you and also to him.
That I understand.
No, I disagree. Danny Young still doesn't remember this friend, and you could not send a photo.
He couldn't. He said he doesn't have the phone.
You could not be polite about it. Yes, so I don't agree. Wrong. There are many people who have no inkling to your background who would claim to know you. Numbers now are public. Anybody can get his number from anywhere. And the best way to deal with this is to call out the blackmail. Why curse him? Why do all sorts of things to him?
I strongly don't believe that social media is the best way to resolve every situation.
No, I think on this one,
I believe that
publicity.
I think you need to be careful about calling out the blackmail.
Yes.
Because sometimes it will work against you.
No. No, but if you're being blackmailed, do not hide it. Call it out, put it out. Well, even if you're guilty, put it out. Let people see it. Don't encourage it, because secrecy is what we thrive on.
Thank you so much, ladies. We've had a very, very knowledge-packed show, and I must say again to YK that I applaud your strength based on what you've gone through, and I applaud you for how well you've raised Rolari, despite all that people could claim. These are children of celebrities that I know. And they are well-mannered, they are well-trained, and they are well-behaved. I pray that God will guide us. Let's use wisdom as we go ahead in our giving this season, because we're entering a new season of more responsibilities and giving now. Thank you all, ladies, so much for today. We're out of time, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.